again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic painting tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So make sure to hit subscribe so you can join the fun and paint along, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Alright, so happy Father's Day weekend, artists. We're going to do a perfect painting for that dad or grandpa in your life. This painting is called Thanks for Guiding Me. We're going to have a cute little guiding star and a sailboat. We're going to do a kind of fun and folksy background today too. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited for this one. So I have my 4 standard brushes that I use in most classes. So this kit that I use comes with a large square wash brush, a medium-sized pointed brush, and 2 small detail brushes. I'm gonna get this in my water cup off the side of the screen. The colors that I have to start with for the background step, we're gonna start with 2 different types of blue. This is an ultramarine and a cobalt blue. I have some white, some my phthalo green, love that color, some purple or violet, and some black. To see a full materials list of everything that you need to paint along, check the description box below. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, I'm going to grab my second to largest pointed brush to start here with my horizon line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a light blue. I think I'm gonna start with my cobalt. Gorgeous light blue. And I'm going to create my horizon line, which is going to be the top layer of these different green and blue colored waves that I'm going to add today. And I want to take this first line maybe about 60% of the way up, so just a little bit further than halfway. And I'm just gonna do a really cute little wavy line, and it absolutely does not need to be a perfect wavy line. In fact, it shouldn't be. That was almost too perfect, too even. I want to kind of mix it up and keep it almost like these were like pieces of patterned paper that were torn. It's kind of the look that I was going for here, that I was inspired by. And we're going to add a couple different layers. Let's go ahead and just go a tiny bit lighter so that we can cover these colors. But that's going to be about the color that I start with up there. Let's go ahead and just start adding some more layers. And so you see that one I did a little differently. All right, so in some areas, it's going to be more curvy than others. We'll have one more down here. All right. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections. That's what I was thinking about going with today, so that sounds good to me. And now that I have those 4 sections spaced out for myself, I'm going to start at the bottom here with this bottom section and work my way up. And you can really do it however you like, but what we want to do is fill in each of these 4 stripes now with a different kind of ocean-inspired color. So in this case, I'm doing this ultramarine blue, which matches my nails perfectly. Didn't realize how perfect until I just started painting. The exact same hue. And I'm just going to fill this in with that gorgeous ultramarine, and I want to kind of take my brush strokes along the shape of that little curvy section. And since I'm going from the bottom up, gotta be mindful not to smear these sections with my hand, since I'm gonna be moving my way up here. Okay, gorgeous. Let's see what happens when we mix ultramarine with some phthalo. We should get a really nice oceany color. Ooh, very pretty, sort of jade green. Love that. And actually, before I fill that in, I think I'm going to take my ultramarine blue up a little bit further into this section, just so my sections are relatively even. little bit thicker there at the bottom with the ultramarine. Okay, and now I'm gonna take my gorgeous teal jade green blue mix color, a little bit of white there too to bring out the sort of turquoise there in the phthalo. And we're going to take this color and just bring that right on top. Looking cute. Getting those base colors all filled in. Making sure that the paint soaks into the canvas texture. A little bit of water always in that paint helps things go nice and smooth and soak in. We don't want any white canvas when we're done with this first background layer, so we're gonna have all of our colors filled in and our areas blocked out. We want to make sure to cover our sketch line with these colors as well. So no peekaboo sketch line showing ocean inspired wavy stripes. Okay. And here we go with this color. Just in that last little area here. Very pretty. Okay, and since we did ultramarine blue with those colors, let's switch to our cobalt now. Just gonna sneak a little bit of ultramarine over there real quick, just to make sure things are nice and tidy. Okay, everything is the sum of its parts, so it's all in the details. All these little details will add up to your final painting, so take your time. Make sure each step is the color that you want, the shape that you want. All right, let's move on to this next section. I think I'm gonna take some cobalt. I kind of want to sneak a little bit of ultramarine in also for like an in-between vibrant color. I'm going to sneak a little bit of white, but not that much white because I'm still going one more layer lighter with my blue. You could use your bigger brush if you wanted to speed things up. But I really love using this brush in particular. It's so smooth. If you push hard down on it, you get a nice thick line. But if you have very, very dainty texture, you can have a very thin line as well. Very versatile. All right, and look at those colors next to each other. How pretty is that? Very ocean inspired today. And I'm actually not going to cover that sketch line with this color because I'm going to bring my light blue down and cover that. And I kind of want to go a little bit further up over here. I'm kind of evening out this next section as well. With your sketch lines, don't be afraid to adjust things. That's why they're that first line. It just kind of gets you going. And then each time I fill in a new color or anytime I see anything that needs to be added, I just go ahead and add it. And then again, you get that sum of its parts effect of it being nice and tidy. And evened out, finessed, if you will. All right, very cute. Let's go ahead and fill in our light blue. Look, I have a little blue heart in my paint. How cute is that? I don't want to ruin it. So I'm gonna take some light blue over here. And that's gonna be my lightest color. And it's going to be the color that I started my sketch with, the color that I started my horizon line with. So that should just go seamlessly right over that color. Very pretty. I like those colors next to each other. Very simple but striking painting today. Wanted to do sort of that full piece style again. Those are popular, and I'm just personally a real lover of the folk art style. I like whimsy and bright colors, in case you all haven't noticed. Probably why you're here too. All right, we're almost all filled in here with our gorgeous ocean with these first colors. We'll move on to our sky. A little bit more light blue. I'm covering my sketch line. So cute. All right, I'm gonna grab my larger brush now. This guy. We're going to use the two colors that we have not used yet, which is our purple. And I'm going to add a little bit of white into my purple. I'm going to take this purple right above my light blue. I'm going to try my hardest not to blend the two together, but they're pretty close to each other on the color wheel, so it shouldn't be too much of an emergency. If you pull a little blue in, it should be pretty easy to cover with the purple. If you'd like to learn more about color theory, what colors are close to each other on the color wheel, all about the color wheel, how to blend colors, tints and tones, I have a special course on that for anyone that needs a refresher back from art class in high school, or if you've never had it. And it's on Skillshare, and if you follow my link below, you can get a month for free when you sign up through that link. So you can check that course out for free and see what I'm talking about a little bit more when I mention those terms. And also you can check out other stuff on Skillshare while you're at it. All right, and then we're going to work our way here to black for our night sky. And I'm going to go right above my purple with a purpley black color, and I'm actually going to do a different texture here than the bottom. So at the bottom we have these smooth stripes. Up top I'm wanting to do a little bit of like a stormy sky in the distance. Stormy night, like we're a little boat lost on the ocean and we see the North Star. Okay, cute. And I'm gonna take a little bit of black along the top. All the way to black here at the top. Fully saturated black. And we'll bring that down to the purple and blend the two. Plenty of paint, don't be shy. And if you bring your black too far down, just remember you can always bring your purple back up on top. Acrylic painting is always a play of layers. I still have my little heart. This painting is dedicated to my late grandfather who raised me, unfortunately passed away. He loved boats and the ocean, so he would have loved this, and he was always there for me. And that little heart is cute. Maybe that's him from the other side. A little bit of purple. Blend it in here with the black. I just kind of want that purple right on the horizon there. stormy sky. All right, now we have our whole first layer filled in. Let's go ahead and step away and let this layer dry fully, and we'll come back and add a whole bunch more. I'll see everyone in a few. Okay, welcome back, artists. We have a dry background, and I got some fresh colors on my piece of palette paper here. So I once again have my cobalt and ultramarine blue and some white. I have a little bit more phthalo green, as well as a tiny little bit of cadmium yellow, and then some black. I rinsed my brushes and got some fresh water at break as well. Let's go ahead and jump right back on into it. All right, so just a few little kind of fun details here and there now. And I'm going to start with my second to smallest detail brush here. And I'm going to mix up a nice light blue that's a shade lighter than the blue that we filled in our little top part here with. And we're going to choose a different sort of oceany texture, oceany pattern for each section of our little ocean colors now. So for this top one, I'm just doing these sort of long, slightly curvy brush strokes, a little tiny bit of water in the paint. Don't worry about it looking a little bit fuzzy, because this is sort of the folk art feel to everything, a little bit looser. Lovely. And then let's take like an in-between blue color maybe, and we'll go a little bit darker and maybe a slightly different texture down here. And you can see that these colors aren't that far apart in value, so they're really just like another element of this color, another shade or highlight of the same color. Just like so, loving that already. Adding that whimsy. Lovely. Super cute. All right, and for our green, I think I'm gonna do an in-between sort of greenish blue. I think I need a tiny bit of white here just to bring the color out, but I want to stay pretty dark. Okay, and for this one, I think I'll do really long ones. So I'm staying horizontal with each one. Just adding that variation. Very cute. Just kind of adds to the ocean feeling and that feeling of movement. Very nice. All right, and then our darkest color here at the bottom. You might even want to take a little bit of black into your blue to go nice and vibrant. I think I'm gonna do even smaller little darker dots here at the bottom. A little bit of sort of a wonkiness to it. Again, just adds to that feeling of movement. That's why today's painting is so fun. That's why I like folk art, is because it captures the feelings of things rather than their exact likeness. There's a place for both, but sometimes you just need that fun feeling. Okay, that looks really cute. Let's go ahead and go up into the sky really quick. I'm gonna take some of my some of my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to make sort of medium blue color with my white, a little bit of white here. And I'm gonna come up into my sky and I'm going to do a little circle here where I'm going to have my guiding star. Starting small and just making it a little bigger. It can be a variety of sizes. I'm gonna go with sort of a medium small. The feeling that I wanted to capture here was like it's a little boat and like a fairly small star to a little twinkle. I'm gonna do another little circle over here so we have a couple big stars in the sky. And I wanted to make this like it was the northern light, or the North Star rather. And that one always comes up with a little friend. Or maybe I'm thinking the moon. Well, anyway, it needs to have a little friend next to it, I think. The star that comes up with the moon, I believe, is Venus, and that is not the North Star, but should have brushed up on my astronomy. So now we're going to take some white. We're going to separate each of these gorgeous, colorful ocean sections with this gorgeous sort of like white cap, frothy ocean layer here with our white, and it's just going to sort of mimic the feel of the moonlight, starlight, sparkling on the ocean. We're mixing things up because I often outline with black, which we will do for our little boat. But down here, we're going to do some white outlining. It's not really an outline as much as it's a line of separation that ends up sort of outlining the sections. So it's looking pretty cute. Hoping all of the dads out there appreciate the gift that we will make for them. Or all the dads that are painting along are having a good nautical time. If you are painting along, I would love to see your work. And I've created a Facebook group called the Art Club, specifically designed for that purpose, for my students to share their work, whether it be from painting along with me or just from your own studio or imagination. I want to see it. It's a free group to join, and there's a link below in the description box, and then also I pin things in the comments section for you guys to find too. Down with the materials list, you'll find that link. Okay, and second to top one here, we're just doing normal white lines, so we're gonna do something a little bit whimsical at the top. An added touch of whimsy. Okay, super cute. And so here at the top, we're going to still have the white outline for most of it. But our little boat is gonna go right here. And what I wanna do is actually have a little curly Q at the top of this wave here. Like so. I actually went a little bit higher than my blue. So I might need to come in there with a little bit of blue. I actually want to have a little wave break, and then they'll just pick up there right underneath again. That's right where we're gonna put our cute little boat. Okay, a little bit more water. All right, and I'm just gonna come in here with some light blue in just a minute and touch that up. want it to have a nice high wave break. So let me grab a little bit of this medium blue. Take that right in there. You can also use that opportunity if you need to sort of finesse things in there. Make it a little bit more perfectly curly cued. All right, look at how cute that looks. Let's go ahead and block out our boat. So I'm actually going to start with white here for the base of the boat as well. And we're going to just have a little horizontal brush stroke followed by another one right above it. We're going to have a little floating rectangle, and we're going to fill this in with whatever color we want our boat to be. So I'm going to do green, and my phthalo green has some blue in it. So I've taken this yellow to cancel that out. And I blocked it out with white, but it was hard to see. So I'm just gonna get this green on here right away so that you guys can see it a little easier. We wanna have that touching the little wave and kind of floating right on top of all of our layers. Just like so, a little bit more pointed in the front. Okay, and that's pretty light green because I started with my white, and also because I went on top of the white layer there, so I might make it a little bit more vibrant green later. But for now, let's go ahead and jump up to the top part of our boat. So I'm going to take a little bit of gray, and I'm going to have my mast come perpendicular to our little hole of the boat, okay? That's important to get that alignment correct. You don't want a wonky angle here. Okay. And then I think I'm just gonna go with some classic white sails. And we're going to actually take a triangle shape right next to our gray line here. It's good to leave a little tiny bit of peekaboo in between the mast and the sail, because it would be like tied with ropes that you wouldn't really see. And then for this front sail, we're gonna do a little curve coming that direction. Just for that classic little cute sailboat look. All right, and then just going to delicately fill that in with white. Pretty tiny little boat on top of all of our waves, so cute. All right. I could be using my smaller brush, I suppose. Always feel free to use a smaller brush if you need a little bit more control. But the smaller brush takes longer. I'm gonna take my mast up a tiny bit taller. Look at how whimsical that looks. Okay, so cute. Let's let that dry for just a half a second. And I'm going to take the back of my brush. I'm going to add some stars right in the middle of my smaller circles, and then a few just around as well. Okay, super cute. Like it. Okay, and then on my top little guiding star, I think I'm gonna use my my teeny tiny smallest brush for this. I'm gonna come up here to this teeny tiny little circle, medium-sized circle. I'm gonna start with a straight up and down line and then make it a plus sign. And then I'll have a little in between lines as well. Okay, very subtle, very small. Then I like to sometimes make the up and down line a little bit taller. You get that really nice twinkly effect. Just going over it a little bit. Okay, very cute. And then back to my boat for the little final touches. I'm gonna grab my second to smallest brush again. I'm going to take some white here because I lost my little curly. I want to make sure that I have that still, and it took a little bit of green, but that's okay. And then a little bit of black. We're going to outline our little green boat. I'm just going to add more white on top of that slightly greenish white once it's a little drier. Okay, but a nice black outline here at the bottom. Around the back side of that main hole. Going to shadow where the boat would touch the wave. And then I'm also going to outline my sails. With my black. Again, using this opportunity to finesse my shape every step of the way. Nice and triangular. Very cute little boat. All right, trying to leave a little bit of purple still in the in-between, but it's hard to see. All right, and then one little shadow along the mast. All right, and let's add a little touch of whimsy more to the sky. I'm gonna have my ultramarine blue here with a little bit of white, and I'm going to go around my main star with a few streaks of like a glowy blue. And we can go around some of these stars as well, sort of like a Van Gogh Starry Night effect. That's what we're going for here. And just a few rows around each one. Okay, cute. And I want to take a little bit of white and just fix my light green here. Sort of did. It's still a little wet. And this shape, I actually want to be a little less curved. There we go. And might as well make my green a little bit more vibrant while I'm at it. As my final little finishing touch. Very cute. Left a little bit of variation in there, and that shape looks better. All right. Okay. Oh, should have just left it. Okay. We're gonna call it good there. Let's do a little shadow just to keep it consistent. Okay, perfect. All right. I might put a little bit of finishing detail in there once that's dry, but that is the end of today's class. Please let me know what you thought of today's painting in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you over in the art club, so make sure to join us over there. And that is all the instruction that I have for us this week. So until next time, happy painting, happy Father's Day, and stay creative.